Hey guys, so recently we decided, while we had it up, doing a quick oil change and lubing the driveline and a quick inspection for any damage from a number of trips we've done, we decided to check the wheel bearings. So we come in and we go driver's side, no movement, passenger side. Ooh, not good. That's not how it's meant to be. So lucky for us, we've got a Prado hospital with some Prado parts. So bada bing, we just come over here and grab one off the shelf. Actually, no, that's too easy and they're already packed, ready to be sent to you. So over to the dirty old smash it around workbench, and that's what this bench is, guys. That's why it's got a lot of marks on it. Gets a coat of paint once a year with the floor or whenever we get round to it. Bit rougher over that side over there where you can't see, but over this side of the bench, what we use, because it's nice and soft, it's got a bit of masonite on top. Excuse me. So we just like a soft timber surface for our nice wheel bearings. And look, I just want to run through, we've got videos on this, but what the first stage is this is the bearing, okay? So here's the bearing, right? That's the bearing, it's a bearing assembly, okay? We've installed the seal onto it, okay? Now there's a number of different seals, genuine, aftermarket, even Toyota use different brands of seals in their genuine line, okay? So we've nutted it out, the ones we like best, the part numbers we like best to get the brands right, or buying those brands direct from those manufacturers, OEM suppliers, to put this kit together for you. So I've professionally pressed those on. We've got a special tool for that. You can either use a press or you can tap it on with a hammer, nice and square, bada bing, it's custom made. Check that thing out, right? You know. Anyway, so they're on. The other thing we do is, and as I've said in other videos, we're not sure if it helps. We're not 100% sure, but I reckon it. I don't reckon. I know it's certainly not going to hurt. It could be a waste of my time. Nobody's paying for it. There's a whole lot of R&D going on, and we're going to see if they last longer the second time round. So we run a bead of RTV silicone along the edge there. So I've just done these. Literally, I'm in the process right now. As I said, I brought the car in for an inspection. If there's a problem, I fix it. You know, it's not like we've got to stay in there until it gets fixed, right? So, bang, off. We had all the parts in stock anyway, even ones that weren't pressed together, ready to go. We've got the brand new genuine hubs out. I'm looking forward to getting those on with some nice new studs, nice clean flat faces, nice clean, you know, it's just going to seal up really well. It's the 100% thing, no doubt about it. So that's together. The reason the bolts are in there, you got to put the bolts in before you press those together. Don't make that mistake, even if you decide to do it the hard way and not purchase these hubs assembled from me. Don't make the mistake of pressing it together. Make sure the bolts go in straight away. Little bit of grease on here, then this is going to get pressed in to here, right? And then you've got your hub assembly, but you still need your O-ring that goes on the back, and we're going to use either the genuine O-rings, or what I'm toying with the idea at the moment is, and we don't see these leak, but once the vehicles get older, we see sometimes a bit of surface rust, and I believe it's not going to work as well. I'm toying with the idea of re-engineering and getting a thicker O-ring. I can certainly do that from an aftermarket supplier. Of course, quality O-rings, just a little bit thicker, I'm thinking. So for this vehicle, the R&D, I'm going to use the genuine O-ring. And the genuine, of course, we've got to replace this seal. You can go and get one of those if you want, you know, they're very expensive. You'll find out that. But anyway, that goes in behind the steering knuckle, okay? So we are going to let the RTV dry. It's just about gone off, or gently get these pressed together. And then we may have a video. It may be this video. I'm undecided yet. As I said, I'll make it up as I go. I'm undecided whether this is just to tease you or it might have the starting steps. Actually, I think we'll go through a verbal on how to replace this in this video, and then you can subscribe, have the bell on, and stay tuned for the full Anthony's front wheel bearing assembly replacement video. We've got other videos pressing all these together. I think it's called cooking wheel bearings, whatever. Whole heap of information in there as usual. Yeah. Right, so over to the car. If you've got your wheel bearing assemblies, first step is wheel off. Okay, you thought I was going to show you the whole job, but I'm busy, mate. I haven't got time for that. So, I'm going to tell you about the rest. I dropped the wheel nut. Let me grab that, because I always like anything that gets dropped, collect it up, put it up on the side steps. Wheel nuts go on the side steps, right? The wheel's ready to come off. Let's get that off, and then at least we can talk about what needs to be done next. Okay, so, pretty straightforward job, eh? Let's get in a bit closer. Okay, what do we got for you? We'll get in a bit closer here. This is such a simple job, it's almost embarrassing to have to show you how to do it. Like, I've shown you enough videos that kind of like, you should be getting the gist of this by now, don't you think? Yeah. Anyway, we're going to show you how to do it. It may even be in another video we've already shown, and we may even show you on this vehicle, but the whole thing isn't going to be in this video because maybe it's going to take too long and someone's going to complain that I talk too much like now. But what I'm going to do in this one is I'm going to keep it short, but I'm going to keep it short by talking more. So I'm going to run through verbally the steps to replace that wheel bearing assembly, and then we'll do a whole separate video saying, hey guys, replacing the front wheel bearing assembly. So for the people that want to watch and get the longer version. So what we would do now to replace this front wheel bearing, now that we've got the wheel off, we need to remove the caliper, the front brake caliper. The first step of that is to remove the 12mm on this bracket here, because we've got a fixed brake line here, right? We can't just take the caliper off and bend the bracket. No good. People do that. We see that in cars all the time. Not good. Stop doing it. A call again to the workshop managers. Please don't employ people that haven't had any training or any skills whatsoever in anything with their hands, mate. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have people that can do this stuff, right? There's also another 10mm somewhere there. I'm not going to stick my head in there and have a look, but it's just about there. You'll find a 10mm. That's the bracket on the ABS line, which is here, that comes down to the ABS sensor. Take the 10mm off first. This is all basically so that nothing gets damaged. That disconnect the ABS line from this bracket, right? Then it can't get yanked. Then we're going to take that 10mm out that's just there. It's just out of the picture, whatever. It's just, you can see it. There's a bracket there. The brake line goes up. You'll see the bracket, 12mm. Then the only thing holding the brake line, the brake hose, is the brake hose itself. And this caliper is quite heavy, so you're not going to just unbolt it then. And there's two bolts in behind here. I think they're 19mm. I don't know. It's been a while, and I always get it wrong anyway, right? But look, 19mm behind there, the two big main ones that go in, and unbolt this whole assembly and don't let it go, because then this brake line here will get bent around and nearly snapped, and if it doesn't snap, it might snap with some vibration out on a track one day. Very dangerous. So make sure you've got some tight, see my hands, I'm using my hands like this while I'm talking. Anyway, get some tie wire handy to tie up this caliper. So those brackets out first, those bolts off, have your wire somewhere here handy, or you can use an Oki strap if you want, whatever you want, and have it tied up there somewhere on the body of the vehicle. You find a hole somewhere where you can hook the wire through, and then hook it through the caliper just underneath through here out the other side, and give it a twist and tie it up over here somewhere, and it's completely out of the way, right? So it takes time to tell you how to avoid the problems, guys. So please stop complaining about the blah blah blah. We need it. Right, then most likely what's going to happen on this vehicle, because every vehicle's different, we're talking Prados here. If it's not a Prado, it might be different. If it's not a Toyota, it might need a lot of hammering or something to get it off. But look, watch this. So that rotor, it's moving. This is what we call a hat type rotor. It just goes on straight over the hub. So once you've got your caliper off, it just lifts straight off, right? Some cars, again, they get stuck with rust. I wasn't joking around when I said some other brands might need a lot of hammering, a lot of CRC and a lot of hammering. You might even need new rotors at the end of it, or drums, depending what car we've seen it all. So we're just going to carefully take this off. But before you do, important tip. Can you see here there's a little blue dot? It would be really awesome if you were to mark the stud and the rotor and put things on the same way as they came apart. Now, in this case, it's not really necessary, and that's why we're using a whole hub bearing assembly, because then it's 100% true. Because, you know, well, not 100%, it's never 100%, but as good as possible. If someone's hit a gutter slightly or something and you've got a slight bend in this hub, right, you need to machine the rotors on the car, for example, is the best way to do it. And then when you take the rotors off, you mark them so they go in the same position, okay? So that's a little bit of extra information that isn't relevant to this job. You like that? But it's information and you needed to know it. Like I said, we're replacing that, so there's no point marking anything. Rotor comes off, right? Then you're looking at the hub. What do you got then? you got to get this dust cap off. Now I'm going to show you the tool that I use to get it off. Where are you? Where are you hiding? Bottom drawer. Bottom drawer. Here it is, right? An old wood chisel, right? See this? An old, why? Because it's got a really nice, because I don't do much with wood, and they're cheap chisels that I probably got when I was 16 or something like that. But it's got a nice taper on it, better than a screwdriver, you know? Because you want something nice and sharp, and don't hit it hard, because the key is you don't want to dent these caps, right? They stick on really well. I mean, you know, they're not glued on, but they're like glue. No water leaks through there, and it won't leak through there unless you damage these caps. 30 bucks each, ballpark. When I talk prices, things can be 28 or 33, whatever. Round it to the nearest 10, whatever. I don't do dollars and cents. They're about 30 bucks each. You don't want to wreck them, okay? If you want to be extra fussy, you can go and order 2 new caps. That way, if you damage them, okay, you got it covered. Or you can just go to and butcher and rip them off, and you know you've got brand new caps going into your brand new hub, you know? Brand new one, brand new versus new, so it's just like a new car. So you can do that if you like. I don't do that. I don't damage them. I don't need to do that. But you shouldn't need to either. Wood chisel, gently, slowly, tap, tap, tap. Work your way. Take your time, guys. Don't rush anything. When you rush things, that's when you have problems and you regret it, and poor man pays twice. Don't go for the cheap stuff. You got people on Facebook going, oh yeah, it doesn't have to be genuine, whatever. Good luck to you, right? These people have got Toyotas, they spent the money, they invested in an awesome vehicle, they want to keep the feeling. They're only spending a bit of money every couple 100,000 Ks. Big deal, right? Genuine crap. Some of these things people are getting off eBay. Yet again, we saw it the other day. They don't even have the seal fitted that goes between the bearing and the hub. It's a joke. Anyway, I was meant to be telling you how to get this off, right? But it's all important information to help you avoid these issues. Caliper off, hat off, cap off. In behind here, you've got a 35mm. Yes, 35, not 36, but before that, you've got a split pin, a stainless steel split pin. You're not meant to reuse split pins, but they're really thick, and I'm pretty confident. And it's on one side, it's only bent a little bit. I'm super confident you could reuse it. Up to you if you want to grab yourself a new split pin, big thick one, or whether you want to have a look at it and reuse it. Torque setting on that nut is very important. I think it's 235 Newton meters. Don't take my word for it. Go check it. You can check the comments. Can someone please check it for me and put in the comments, yep, 235 was right, or no, Anthony, you're dreaming again, it was whatever, but I'm pretty confident. So, all right, so split pin, nut, we're going to undo the nut, loosen it off. Basically, that's just what's holding your drive shaft in, right? The drive shaft comes from behind through there, okay? Then the only thing you've got left is those 4 bolts. Remember at the start I showed you the 4 bolts? Or they'll be sort of in behind here. You'll see those then. And you undo those 4, I think they're 17mm, right? They're going by memory again. You can tell me in the comments if I'm right or wrong. Yeah, I don't change these all the time, mate. Been there, done that, done heaps. I don't try and help you guys do it, right? Save you money, send them to our Fourby4 Diesel recommended repairers. So if you do need someone in Melbourne or Sydney or wherever, you can ask the question, send me a text message, stick on our Facebook groups, purchase the parts, purchase the bearing kit, then on the VIP group you can ask, hey, who put your front hubs in, or where's the video, or you can search for the video, right? Once you watch the video, you're going to save some money, or if you just want to get someone to do it, we can send you to, you know, the best in the area or closest, whatever that we recommend. 17mm, once you've got those 17mm off, nothing's holding that bearing from coming out this way, okay? That's what happens, it comes out this way. That assembly, you're gonna be holding this hub here, but it's all pressed together, and you're just gonna wiggle and pull. You might just get a hammer and gently tap, tap, tap the end of the drive shaft. It's okay for some gentle tapping, no problem. The thread is nowhere near the end of the shaft. Happy days, tap, 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 and a bit of and pull this, tap that, and it'll just come off, right? It'll just come off. There you go, the whistle worked that time. It'll just come off, right? It worked twice in a row. And what we're going to do, gently put that on the bench. Then you're going to undo a couple other bolts and whatever, but we'll get to the more detail in another video. You might undo the 2 90mm at the bottom, underneath, down under here. I can't show you at the moment because I'm not moving the thing, behind the rotor, upside down, 2 90mm each side of the ball joint. There's no spring pressure or anything generally, depending on your suspension setup. And you can just then, don't be careful not to pull your drive shaft out at that end up there. We don't want that happening and spilling oil everywhere and damaging the seal. So you got to make sure you keep your shaft pushed into your diff while you lift this steering knuckle. That's this assembly here. See this here, the whole bit of steel that the bearing goes into. Just lift it up out of the way and spin it around so you can get to the back and that's where you're going to get that extra seal out and replace it. There's no point doing the bearing if you're not doing the seal, because the seal could have been the cause. When we get these old ones back, for anyone that's local that does bring them back, we don't need them back or anything, but if you do, we strip them down, we have a look and analyse a little bit to find out where the water or whatever's getting in, see if the bearing's dry, whatever the case may be. And we've seen some crazy stuff with some cheap bearings. That's why I say don't bother with that, just stick with the genuine stuff. Anyway, that's it guys in this video. I've gone through everything I need to give you an idea how to replace that. We're going to do another video how to replace them when we replace them. Can't fit it in this amount of time. This is the short version. Hope you liked it. Please give us a thumbs up for that info. Please subscribe, turn the bell on if you haven't already, and we're going to have more videos including changing those front wheel bearing hubs. And again, if you do want to purchase a pair of those for the front of your Prado or your Hilux, 0490261013. Send me a text message saying your name, your vehicle details, and what you would like. Monday mornings from 8 AM, text message. Parts days Monday, not in the afternoons, not on Friday. You want to go in the ignore list, start texting me 3-4 PM Friday afternoon, you go in the ignore list. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. Free information for you. Bada bing, we're out of here. See ya.